sports talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, we'll just update everybody about what's going on in the welterweight division. Hey, Manny Pacquiao needs a dancing partner because it ain't going to be Terence Crawford, and we kind of all knew it. We just was hoping, but he ain't going to fight Terence Crawford. He ain't going to fight him for 6 years. It doesn't matter when. Then he's just not going to fight Terence Crawford. And I told you, the boxing world is a big sigh of relief because nobody wanted to see that fight, right? So, okay. So now, we say Manny Pacquiao is probably going to fight Errol Spence. Let's see if he wants to do that. Mikey Garcia, we see. And it's like, so who was Terence Crawford going to fight? And it seems to be like always, Terence Crawford should fight Shawn Porter. I think Terence Crawford and Shawn Porter is a fight I don't want to see yet. Right? I don't think that's a good fight. I'm going to tell you why. One is, Shawn Porter has been beaten 3 times. Okay? 3 times. And some would say 4, saying that he might have lost to Ugas as well. Right? Shawn Porter's best win has to be the unanimous decision win over Danny Garcia. The problem with that is he's lost 3 times. He's lost to Errol Spence, he's lost to Kell Brook, and he's lost to Keith Thurman. So, if Terence Crawford beats him, then what? Right? We'll talk about it right before the fight. Well, it's a hard fight for Terence Crawford, but if he beats him, we're going to say, well, he's the guy been beat 4 times. That's what we're going to do because we did it with Kell Brook. Before the Kell Brook fight, people could go back and see what people were talking about. Some of my favorite uploaders were very, very nervous about the Kell Brook fight after seeing how fit Kell Brook was and everything. After he demolished Kell Brook like no one else has, we act like Kell Brook wasn't nothing. That's what we did. That's what we're going to do to Terence Crawford. The bottom line is, right now, Shawn Porter, yes, it's a good fight. We understand Shawn Porter is formidable. He's going to come forward. He's a huge welterweight, right? Fighting little old Terence Crawford. But the thing is, he doesn't have a belt right now. If he had had a belt, if Shawn Porter would have beat Errol Spence, you would be seeing Terence Crawford would have went directly towards him. I think that he should be going for, Terence Crawford should be going for Ugas to get that belt. If Errol Spence fights Pacquiao, the only fight for me is Terence Crawford should be fighting Ugas, not Virgil Ortiz, because he ain't going to get no credit for that either. Trust me. No, he's not. After the fight, they're going to say Ortiz wasn't ready. That's what they're going to do. So we don't need those kind of fights right now. Terence Crawford is also 33 years old and trying to make statement fights, right? And, let's also see 2 things when it comes to Manny Pacquiao, too. We're going back to him. Let's see how much he's going to want to have to fight Errol Spence, like I keep mentioning. Let's just watch that. Let's see if there's going to be, because that's what I want to know. Is he just going to say, hey, I want $40 million for Errol Spence? Let's see that. That's very important because he definitely wanted that for Terence Crawford and only Terence Crawford. Let's see how much that he wants there. Another thing is, because I've never seen a black dude do this. I want to see if a black dude can do this. But I do know, Pacquiao doesn't have to take drug tests, right? And the whole boxing world kind of looks away. You can't, we know he didn't want to take a drug test with fighting Floyd Mayweather back in 2009, 2010, right? He didn't want to take the drug test. And what did the boxing world do? Who did they get mad at? Who did ESPN and all of them? Weren't they mad at Floyd Mayweather for asking for VADA testing for such a huge fight? They got mad at the guy saying, hey, I'm clean. I want him to be clean too. That's what happens. Now, Pacquiao fights Keith Thurman and they don't want to have any drug testing. Now, Keith Thurman, I keep mentioning it, but Keith Thurman was so confident that he was like, I'll give a damn, whatever. Yeah, well, you better give a damn Pacquiao without drug testing, because Pacquiao with drug testing is awesome. So without having being tested, you see what happened. You see what happened. You split decision lost. Now, split decision loss with drug testing is something different. It's not about that, though. It's about, I wonder if brother say, man, I ain't fighting him without drug testing. I want to see if a brother can get away with that. What brother on this planet? Like, hey, man, I ain't taking no drug testing. That's it, period. So what's up? And all of the boxing media let that go through. It's kind of ridiculous, the stuff that we got to listen to. But whatever. Let's see. I personally think that Shawn Porter versus Bud Crawford is not a good fight yet. As soon as Crawford gets that title or whatever, and Shawn Porter does one more fight with somebody, then that'll be a change of mind. But I just don't think that he's going to get the accolades if he beats Shawn Porter like he should get. Right? And Shawn Porter is a very, very formidable guy, and he should get it, but he wouldn't. Maybe from a few people, but not the people that some people care about what their opinions is, which we shouldn't. right? He wouldn't get it because Shawn Porter has already lost 3 fights officially, and with a possible 4, if we're talking spades here. If some people think he lost to Ugas. So that's why it's not really a great fight. It's still a good fight or whatever, but that's not the fight that Terence Crawford should be going for. He should be going for the Yordenis Ugas fight. Prioritize that one. And then after that, if you can't get that, then start talking about the other fights. But the reason I say Ugas is simple. Ugas has a title, and that would give him his 2nd title if he were to beat Ugas. Let's see what happens going forward. That's just my opinion, y'all. Dome Sports Talk Worldwide. And we up out of here, y'all.